We are at Big Boi. It's Filipino comfort food, which we opened in January of 2018 this year. It is fondly named after my dad. His nickname was Boy, even though his real name is Angel. And it's about food that I grew up with, food that actually has a lot to do with him in terms of it being a little bit on the healthier side of things. He passed away 5 years ago. He was 76 years old. But at 43 years old, he had a heart attack. He ate a lot of fatty foods because Filipino foods are very fatty in some ways. There's a lot of pork dishes, and my dad loved that. He loved the 10 inches of fat on the adobo and the lechon and all those things. So after he had his heart attack, my mom says, this has to change. She said, no more tabat for you. But she wanted to still have him eat the dishes that we prepare here daily, but have it be a little bit on the healthier end. So the cuts of meats are definitely healthier, less fat. You won't find the foods, swimming in oil or really greasy things. And so I wanted to share that with the Filipino community here, but again, a little bit different, again, on the healthier side of things. My mom, again, she didn't start off making oily things, but definitely, again, after he had his heart attack, was so much healthier, again, with leaner cuts of meats, more vegetables, possibly maybe baking or roasting things versus deep frying things. So you'll find at Big Boi, the only thing that we do fry is the lumpia. It's kind of hard to get away with that, with something you can't roast or bake. So again, we use, a vegetable oil, and we make sure we kind of drain everything so that, you're getting, again, a healthier version. I didn't find it risky at all. I found it to be something that I thought maybe people would be more drawn to, because as you mentioned, we're perceived as preparing foods that are not healthy. And when you guys taste it, I hope that you'll find that, exactly what I'm talking about. So I didn't find it a risk. As long as what my mom did, I continued to do and not sacrifice any of the flavors of the dishes. I have the utmost respect for people, for chefs, I should say, or anyone who cooks fusion food. I think it's fun. I think it's great to do things like that and have, maybe French fries or certain types of bowls that you infuse Filipino flavors in. It's not what I grew up with, so I wanted to represent the food that I grew up with, which is very traditional, from learning from my grandmother, my mom, my aunt, other titas that I have in the Philippines. So I wanted to showcase that versus doing something like that. And there is a lot of that out there. And again, I love some of that stuff. And I think it's great. I mean, Sautel's been such a big, great blessing for us. I say that because we opened Be Sweet, which I'm sure we can talk about later today, which is my dessert shop. And I have infused some of those Filipino flavors into some of the classic desserts, classic American desserts. And I found that people are so drawn to something a little bit more different than what Sautel has to offer. I mean, there's amazing ramen places here. There's many of them. And there's many Japanese places with sushi and things like that we all love. But I think doing something different, I'm always about doing something different. I'm always about doing something unique. I think that you'll see that probably just even in the interior of Big Boi, that it's not really what you would find maybe at a Filipino restaurant. I do have the fork and spoon up in the very corner. I couldn't get away from that. I thought that was important, but more, I think, in the modern version, or more of who I'm about. My dad was, I think, maybe not your typical Filipino, just because he was Spanish as well. And he kind of veered away from those type of, I guess, maybe what you might call stereotypical Filipino. So yeah, I wanted to do something different for sure, and I've been, it's been a great ride so far. I don't describe, because it's so hard to describe Filipino food, because it's so diverse in so many ways that I felt like it was important to maybe start people who weren't of Filipino background with something like chicken and pork and beef dishes that are, again, very classic and very popular in the Philippines. I mean, we can start with chicken adobo. Who doesn't like chicken adobo? It's marinated in your most simple ingredients, and I feel like it's, who's not going to like it? That just was always my take. The pork, I mean, a lot of people don't eat pork, but I always tell them that it's a lot leaner. It's in the lumpia, and I fought with, making maybe lumpia in ground chicken. I was like, but why should I do that, I didn't grow up eating ground chicken lumpia. And we'll get that. You know, people will ask, and we can do that in catering events and things like that. Again, I wanted to represent in the most traditional way here, with it being super lean. So again, the pork, the chicken, the beef, all lean meats. I think people should come to Big Boi because it's a place that feels like home, and I think the food is pretty amazing. I love it. Everything that I prepare here and that I serve to everybody. You know, we can all say it's made with a lot of love, but I genuinely can say that. I put my whole heart and soul into it, and the people that work for me, whether it's in the kitchen or the front of the house, you know, I think it's what I want to put out there. It's what I've done for Be Sweet for the past 9 years and continue to do here for Big Boi. So I think I would love people to come here and know that this is a place where people are friendly and that they serve, you know, delicious traditional Filipino food. I want them to feel like what they've told me when I ask people how the food is. They said it feels like home. It feels like the way my Lola made it or the way that my mom makes it. I get a lot of people saying, I can't tell you that it's better than my mom's because she'll kill me, but it's pretty close. So that's a big compliment. Then I feel like I've done my job.